The former First Lady, Melania Trump, is suing the hosts of The View for a massive $100 million. This is a significant development that is causing a stir in the entertainment and political spheres. The reasons behind this substantial legal action might be unclear to some, but the story promises to be an intriguing and dramatic saga. The View host made strong claims about Melania Trump's personal life and her feelings towards her husband, former President Donald Trump, during a heated broadcast.
Yeah, that's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the First Lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the First Lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly.
The commentators made bold claims that Melania hates Christmas, doesn't want to be the First Lady, and can't even stand sharing a room with her husband. These statements sparked a media frenzy and understandably upset Melania. This has led to one of the most discussed lawsuits in recent times, with allegations and their potential consequences. It's not the first time The View has faced backlash for on-air statements, but this could be one of their costliest mistakes. The lawsuit alleges that the claims were not only false, but also intentionally damaging to Melania's reputation, reaching millions of viewers. The television program presented a very different perspective on Mrs. Trump's role compared to what she or her lawyer claim is true. The discussion focused on analyzing Trump's presidency and then shifted to criticizing Melania herself. The conversation quickly became heated, verging on personal attacks, with one host suggesting that Melania was reluctant to be the First Lady. The overall impression from the show was that Melania had become an unwilling participant in the presidential spectacle.
Hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
The comments made by The View regarding destroying the Rose Garden and disliking Christmas have generated widespread reactions, with some supporting the host's right to free speech, while others believe the remarks crossed the line into unwarranted personal attacks. Melania Trump and her legal team are taking this matter seriously and are not taking it lightly.
Because I do want to get back to this point with the left and Melania Trump. Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View. And look, The View is not the litmus test of America. We don't think that.
They were afraid of that remark. That was their problem.
So why did they handle it that way?
They argue that the impact
of such statements extends beyond Melania's personal reputation, potentially shaping global perceptions and influencing international public opinion. The core of the lawsuit centers on the issue of malicious intent, as Melania's legal team aims to demonstrate that these were not merely offhand remarks, but a calculated and deliberate effort to damage her public image and undermine her credibility on the global stage. Proving intent in high-profile defamation cases can be a complex and arduous task, as it involves navigating intricate legal terminology and principles of libel and slander. The legal concept of defamation encompasses both written and oral statements that are false, harmful to one's reputation, and made with the knowledge or reckless disregard for their falsity. Ultimately, the success of Melania's lawsuit hinges on the ability of her lawyers to convincingly demonstrate the malicious nature of the statements and the tangible harm they have caused to her reputation. Both domestically and internationally, the legal burden of proof in such cases is often high, as the courts must weigh the competing interests of free speech and the protection of individual reputations. Melania's lawyers will likely need to present a compelling case that the statements were not merely expressions of opinion or hyperbole, but deliberate and unjustified attempts to tarnish her public image and undermine her standing in the global community. Furthermore, the case highlights the complex dynamics at play when prominent public figures, such as First Ladies, seek legal recourse for perceived defamation. The outcome of this lawsuit could have broader implications for the legal standards and evidentiary requirements in high-profile libel and slander cases, setting precedents that may impact similar disputes involving political figures and public personalities in the future. The lawsuit surrounding Melania Trump's defamation case against the co-hosts of The View touches on the delicate balance between the fundamental right of free speech and the equally important principle of protecting one's reputation, particularly in the case of public figures. At the heart of the matter lies the critical question of whether the statement statements made on the popular talk show were factually false, demonstrably harmful to Melania Trump's reputation, and made either carelessly or with a deliberate intent to malign. This high-profile case delves into the broader implications and complexities of the freedom of expression, as the legal system must carefully weigh and reconcile the contrasting rights of unfettered speech and the right of individuals to be shielded from baseless, damaging claims. The View has a long-standing reputation for hosting vibrant, sometimes provocative discussions, which some view as an asset that fosters a robust exchange of ideas, while others perceive it as an unchecked bias that occasionally crosses the line into irresponsible journalism. While the primary purpose of most talk shows is to entertain and engage their audience, they also bear a significant responsibility to provide accurate, fair, and well-researched information to the public. When unsubstantiated opinions are presented as hard facts, the line between entertainment and the dissemination of reliable information becomes blurred, potentially leading to harmful consequences. Melania Trump's legal team is seeking $100 million in damages, underscoring the gravity of the alleged defamation and the perceived severity of the harm inflicted on the former First Lady's reputation. However, the underlying issue at stake transcends the monetary value and delves into the fundamental question of whether even public figures who have willingly chosen to step into the public spotlight deserve a certain level of personal dignity, respect, and protection from unfounded and malicious attacks. Melania Trump's stance in this lawsuit suggests a determination to draw a clear line in the sand, asserting the principle that the right to free speech does not grant a carte blanche to make unsubstantiated claims that can inflict lasting damage on an individual's reputation, regardless of their public status. This case promises to have far-reaching implications as it grapples with the delicate balance between the cherished freedoms of expression and the equally important need to safeguard the reputational rights of both private citizens and public figures alike. The potential consequences of a Melania Trump lawsuit against a talk show could be far-reaching and significant. If successful, it could set a powerful legal precedent that would compel talk show hosts, broadcasters, and media organizations to exercise much greater caution and restraint in their commentary about public figures, particularly those in the political sphere. This could fundamentally reshape the media landscape, ushering in a new era of heightened accountability and sensitivity when reporting on or discussing the private lives and affairs of prominent individuals. Such a ruling could send a strong message to the media industry that the courts are willing to hold them responsible for the real-world impact of their words and commentary. It could push networks and production companies to drastically tighten their guidelines and protocols for live broadcasts, implementing more rigorous vetting and editing processes to prevent the airing of potentially defamatory or privacy-infringing content. The implications of this case could extend well beyond the talk show at the center of the lawsuit. It could have a chilling effect on media coverage of the Trump family and other high-profile public figures, as journalists and commentators become increasingly wary of crossing perceived legal boundaries in their reporting and analysis. This could limit the public's access to information and open discourse around the activities and decision-making of those in positions of power. At the same time, the case has highlighted the inherent tension between the principles of free speech and the protection of individual privacy, especially when it comes to public figures. Public opinion on the matter is deeply divided, with some arguing that the talk show was merely expressing common perceptions and opinions about the Trump household, while others see it as a clear violation of Melania Trump's personal privacy and dignity. The underlying legal issues at the heart of this case are complex and nuanced, with valid arguments on both sides. The outcome could have far-reaching implications for the media industry, the balance of power between public figures and the press, and the very nature of how news, entertainment, and celebrity culture intersect in the digital age. Regardless of the final ruling, this case is poised to be a pivotal moment in the ongoing evolution of media, free speech, and the boundaries of acceptable public discourse. The role of media personalities in our society has become increasingly complex and controversial. On one hand, they serve as public figures, shaping public opinion and discourse. However, this also means they are subject to intense scrutiny and criticism from the media and the general public. The question of whether media personalities should face stricter examination is a valid one, as it raises concerns about individual privacy, the power of the media, and the broader implications for our social and political landscape. In the case of Melania Trump, the former First Lady of the United States, her approach to managing her public image has been a topic of much discussion and debate. As the wife of a high-profile political figure, Melania Trump has faced an unprecedented level of scrutiny and judgment from the media and the public. The comments made about her purported dislike of Christmas, as well as other personal attacks, such as criticism of her fashion choices and her perceived aloofness, highlight the intense level of public scrutiny that public figures, especially women in positions of power, often face. While some may argue that these personal details are irrelevant and should not be the focus of public discourse, as they have little bearing on an individual's ability to perform their duties or contribute to society, others believe that they provide valuable insights into the character and motivations of these individuals. Proponents of this view argue that the way a public figure presents themselves, their personal beliefs and preferences, and their interactions with others can offer a glimpse into their underlying values, priorities, and decision-making processes. In the case of Melania Trump, her perceived reluctance to embrace certain traditional First Lady roles, such as actively championing causes or engaging in public events, has been scrutinized and criticized by some. However, others have defended her right to choose how she wishes to fulfill her role, arguing that she should not be expected to conform to a certain mold or set of expectations simply because of her position. Ultimately, the debate surrounding Melania Trump's public image and the scrutiny she has faced highlights the complex and often contentious nature of public life for high-profile individuals. As society grapples with the appropriate boundaries and expectations for public figures, the discussion surrounding Melania Trump's case provides a thought-provoking lens through which to examine the delicate balance between privacy, accountability, and the public's right to know. Ultimately, the broader question is whether the way we interact with media personalities truly serves the public interest. Does the intense focus on their personal lives and the constant stream of criticism and controversy help us to better understand the issues that matter most, or does it simply distract us from the bigger picture? And what are the implications for our democratic institutions and the health of our public discourse? As this high-profile story continues to unfold, with more court proceedings and ongoing public debate, it is crucial that we remain engaged and thoughtful in our approach. We must carefully consider the delicate balance between the public's legitimate right to be informed and the individual's fundamental right to privacy. In this era of ubiquitous media, it is imperative that we strive to cultivate a media landscape that is not only informative but also responsible and ethical. This case has sparked intense public interest, and understandably so, as it touches upon issues of power, accountability, and the complex interplay between celebrity, privacy, and the public's thirst for information. However, we must be mindful that our interactions with media personalities and the manner in which we consume and disseminate information about them are a direct reflection of our own values and priorities as a society. By adopting a more nuanced and thoughtful approach, we can work towards a future where public discourse is elevated and where media personalities are held accountable for their actions and statements, but without being subjected to undue personal attacks, invasive scrutiny, or disproportionate consequences. This requires a delicate balance, as we must ensure that public figures are not granted unwarranted protection or privilege, while also safeguarding the essential rights and dignities that all individuals, regardless of their status, are entitled to. As this story continues to captivate and polarize the public, it is our collective responsibility to engage in this discussion with empathy, critical thinking, and a commitment to upholding the principles of justice, fairness, and respect for human dignity. Only through such a thoughtful and measured approach can we hope to navigate this complex and evolving landscape in a way that strengthens our democratic institutions, upholds the rule of law, and reflects the best of our shared values as a society. It's time to reconsider how media and talk shows use their freedom, or is this just an exaggerated and unfounded claim? In the next video, we'll delve deeper into this ongoing saga and likely hear more intriguing details. Until then, stay informed, stay involved, and keep the discussions going.